What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another video. In today's video, we are going to be doing our first game plan video heading into this Saints matchup for week number 4. So let's get it started.
You know, I got to shout out DoseOfDion, man, because it was actually the first time I went live on YouTube. And, you know, guys don't know DoseOfDion. He put out a lot of good content for the Detroit Lions.
Welcome everybody to another video. Glad you guys are here. And yes, we're going to be breaking down this game plan. Now I'm going to try to keep this as simplified as possible because man, oh man, do I have a lot of notes for this game. But I try to break it down, keep it pretty simple in this video, so that's what we're going to be doing. But I also do want to break into detail on how the Lions are not only going to score, but also slow down this Saints team. As you guys can probably not see from the board, because I barely can see it, it says it's hashtag Saints Week, guys. I need to get a new marker. Please remind me in the comment section below. That way I don't forget next time I go to the store that I need a new marker because that is awful. Also, it's super windy, so if you hear the wind, then hey, that's the wind because it's super windy. All right, let's get into today's video, man. We got to hop right into it because we have a lot of things to talk about. Now, the Lions are taking on the New Orleans Saints, who are coming off the back-to-back losses, so sure, they're a little desperate to get a win here. They're going to be traveling to Detroit. They're coming off a loss on prime time to the Green Bay Packers, and they're also coming off of a loss to the Raiders, and they beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in week number 1. But don't let that 1-2 record fool you. This is a very talented team. Like, the Saints are a very good team, and I think a lot of people looked at them as potentially a Super Bowl favorite because they have tons of talent on both sides of the ball. They have the veteran quarterback, and then they add some veteran leadership in the back end with guys like Malcolm Jenkins. This is a good team. On paper, it's a very good team, and while maybe it hasn't went as planned recently, they still have played some pretty good opponents, and they definitely competed, and there's just some things that they need to clean up, and they're going to be very successful. Also, they've been without their top wide receiver in Michael Thomas, like we've been out without Kenny Golladay. So we don't know if Michael Thomas is going to play this weekend. We don't know that. I mean, we're really not going to know until it's probably game day. Until Sunday, we're probably not going to know because it is only Wednesday, and we're just going to get practice updates. So we don't really know if the same kind of thing going on right now with Desmond Trufant, whether or not he's going to play. But the Lions are coming off a win to the Arizona Cardinals, a game which you could definitely call an upset, and they're looking for probably, once again, another upset here against the New Orleans Saints. So it's a big game for both teams. This could potentially have playoff implications down the road when it comes to wild card and, you know, who has the head-to-head advantage, and neither team is going to want to fall to 1-3, especially the Lions heading into a bye week. That's not how you want to go to a bye week, right? You don't want to go into a bye week 1-3 with a loss. You want to go into a bye week with back-to-back wins over good teams that are both possibly upsets. That's how you want to do it, and that's a big statement for the Lions. I'm going to keep this as structured as possible when I went through this, but I do have a lot of notes that I want to touch on, and we probably will do more videos where we discuss how the Lions are going to attack this Saints defense and also how the Lions are going to try to slow down the Saints offense, all right? So this is kind of just like, I wouldn't say the first part, but, you know, the first real game plan video that we do here. So we're going to first start off with that Lions offense against this Saints defense, and specifically this Lions passing offense, okay? How are the Lions going to have success when it comes to passing the football against this Saints passing defense? Now, obviously, there's a lot of factors that go into it. It's not just secondary versus wide receivers. It's not just tight ends versus linebackers. I mean, it's all of the above, right? It's offensive line. It's pass blocking. You know, it's pass blocking from the running backs. It's quarterback play. There's a ton that goes into this, right? There's, of course, a ton that goes into this. And we haven't had the biggest sample size so far this year. I mean, we've only played in 3 games. So for both sides, we really haven't had the biggest sample where we can look and say, okay, here's how they are as a team. Because, of course, they played some really good talent. I think this is the first key that I have to mention that I feel like I'm probably going to mention in a lot of our game plan videos, but it's take shots, especially against the Saints team. And we're going to break it down in a second. But basically, we saw last week Matthew Stafford didn't have tons of passing attempts, but he did have 270 passing yards. He did have 2 passing touchdowns, and he probably maybe could have had 3. But either way, he had 2 passing touchdowns. Probably should have had 3 because he threw that dot to Marvin Hall. But obviously, there was a holding call that brought that back. But that's what the Lions need to do. They need to take shots, and I think they need to take shots early in this game, specifically knowing that you're going against the New Orleans Saints. Now, why? Why take shots early in this game? What's the reason for that? Well, let's break it down. The Saints passing defense really hasn't lived up to maybe the expectations so far. It just hasn't been that great. I mean, guys like Marshawn Lattimore, who you expect to be absolutely phenomenal back end, they really haven't been, especially in a deep pass coverage. And we saw last week that the Green Bay Packers took full advantage of that with guys like Allen Lazard. I mean, they were just getting down the field, beating safeties, 70-plus yards, 40-plus yards, and they were opening up the rest of the offense for the Green Bay Packers. And that's where the Lions must attack. And it wasn't just the Packers game. It was also the Raiders game where they had opportunities to take shots downfield with guys like Henry Ruggs. Derek Carr just wouldn't take the shot. And we know Tom Brady, he doesn't really take that many shots downfield anyway. So there's opportunities for the Lions to open up, you know, this offense with the passing attack, and that means taking shots down the field. I mean, when we saw that pass to Marvin Hall, we know Matthew Stafford will take shots because that's one of those positions where I can see you being conservative, right? The game is tied, it's late, very late in the game. Matthew Stafford, maybe you don't want to take that shot to Marvin Hall, especially in double coverage, but he did anyways, and he threw an absolute dot right in the basket. Unfortunately, the holding call brought it back, but we know Matthew Stafford is not afraid to take shots downfield, and we know when you get Kenny Golladay back, you must. The Lions must take shots. I think this being the second game for Kenny Golladay, he's probably going to be even more ready to go. You have Marvin Jones. You have some very good talent on the outside. Because now let's quickly hop over to the Lions rushing offense here, and that is that the Saints rushing defense is very, very good. They're only allowing 3.4 yards per carry right now. That's it, 3.4 yards per carry, one of the best in the league. I believe it is top 5 in the league right now, and they haven't allowed a 100 rusher in over 40 games. This is a very good run defense that the Lions are going against. The front four has been solid, but a lot of it has to do with that linebacker play being very, very good from guys, like Alex and Demario Davis. They've had some really good linebacker play. They've stuffed the run. They've done a very, very good job there. And with Darrell Bevel, the Lions are going to want to run the football. And last week we saw against Arizona that even though it wasn't super successful after that first run to Adrian Peterson, they stuck with it, right? And that was part of the game plan, was to control the time of possession, control the football, and stick to the run game. And that will open up things. If you stick with it, even if it's not super successful, it's going to open up things. And we know Darrell Bevel wants to do that. We've seen that everywhere he's been, that in his second year, you're going to become a pretty heavy running team and at least try to be very balanced. So right now, the Lions have been a pretty well-balanced offense, and I'm assuming we're going to see a very, very similar game plan heading into the Saints game, but I don't see the Lions having tons of success on the ground. Now, if they do, if the Lions can run for 5 yards of carry, run away with it. The Lions should run away with this game if they have tons of success on the ground, but I don't personally see that. So I think taking shots down the field will help open that up early, kind of let the deep shots open up the run game. And then when you stick to that run game, which the Lions must do, the Lions need to stick to the run game here, because if the Lions can stick to the run game, they're eventually going to be once again opening up the play action, which the Packers and pretty much every team has had success with, especially through their tight ends. See, the Saints so far in coverage have been horrendous against tight ends. I mean, against the Packers, Onion out there, they had Mercedes Lewis, they had Sternberg, and they were just going off. I mean, Mercedes Lewis had a touchdown, Tonyan had a big game, Sternberger had a big game. Against the Buccaneers, Howard had a pretty solid game. Against the Raiders, of course, Darren Waller had a very big game. Tight ends have been really, really good against this New Orleans Saints defense, and I think there's many reasons for that, but one big reason is they simply can't match up. Now, not many teams can match up very well with the tight end, but they usually have cornerbacks or Malcolm Jenkins on them, and you just don't have the size. And what we saw last week with Jesse James getting involved finally, and TJ Hockenson continuing to be off to a pretty hot start this season, tight ends are once again going to be a big focus for the Lions offense to attack this Saints defense. And the Saints, so far, when it comes to getting pass rush, they haven't got the pass rush from the front four that they've expected coming into the season. Cameron Jordan hasn't been awful, but he hasn't been Cameron Jordan, right? He hasn't been that guy that's been extremely disruptive where, we could drop a lot of guys into coverage. They've been forced to blitz maybe a little bit more than they want to, especially last week against Green Bay. I feel like they blitzed a lot. I don't have the specific numbers there, but I know on the season they're blitzing 31% of the time, which is somewhere around the middle of the pack. Lions can also slow that down once again by establishing the run game, setting up some play action, and not just play action. I mean specifically the play action boot, because when you boot off the play action, that's where the Packers were extremely successful. I mean, it opened up tons of things. Aaron Rodgers was able to find his tight ends underneath, get shots down the field. That's what the Lions need to do specifically when it comes to play action. And we know that last week, the offensive line wasn't the best in pass coverage. I mean, Matthew Stafford has already been sacked 8 times. Now, it's not just the offensive line. There's a lot of factors that go into it. I think the tight ends must block better as well. But we know Big V did struggle, right? Big V definitely struggled last week against Arizona. We need a better performance. He can't struggle like that, because if he's struggling and guys like Sheldon Rankins are getting to the quarterback, that's going to open up Cameron Jordan, and all of a sudden it's going to help their pass defense in the back end, which has been probably their biggest weakness so far as a defense. And if that happens, then all of a sudden the Lions offense is going to be in a very difficult situation. Now, the Lions have the weapons to match up with any defense. I mean, the Lions should be able to put points on any defense in this league, and that includes the New Orleans Saints. But I think taking shots early, which ultimately could help open up the run game, which ultimately set up the play action, which is where every team has had success to their tight ends, that's what the Lions need to do offensively. That needs to be their game plan. Lions have made it clear that Adrian Peterson is their guy, right? I mean, Darrell Bevel has shown that, hey, Adrian Peterson is our number one, right? This is our guy right now, and we're going to rock with him. But I would like to see Kerryon Johnson specifically get more more involved in this game. When you see how much that the New Orleans Saints blitzed the Green Bay Packers, and you see that the way that they blitzed the Packers, it was important for those running backs to pick up on blocks and at least be able to leak out the backfield. But what I like about Kerryon is that he can do it all. According to PFF, he is the best pass blocking running back in the league right now. But what Kerryon also gives you is the ability to run the football and also catch the ball in the backfield. He's the best all-around running back that we have on our team right now. Peterson, he's a good running back. He's probably a better runner than Kerryon Johnson, if we're being honest. But Adrian Peterson doesn't pass block as well, and he doesn't catch the ball in the backfield as well. DeAndre Swift is the best running back that we have when it comes to catching the ball in the backfield. And again, I would like to see him get more of the opportunities, but he's not the best pass blocking running back. So for the Detroit Lions, I would like to see Kerryon get more involved. And I'm okay if you stick with Adrian Peterson and that is your guy heading into this game. I just need to know that the Lions are going to take shots down the field and ultimately set up the play action with the run game. Stick to the run game. I'm not saying don't run the ball. Actually, one of my keys is to stick to the run game because it will take pressure off Matthew Stafford. It will slow down the pass rush. And also, hey, it wouldn't hurt to mix in some draw plays or some screen plays, something that we really didn't see against Arizona, which I felt like could have been very beneficial, especially draw plays. It wouldn't hurt to do that and show some of creativity in that way. But again, this Lions offense has an opportunity to have a big game. They really do. And so far, every offense has kind of had a big game in their own way, right? The Raiders didn't take a lot of shots, even if they were there. They used their fullbacks, right? They get their fullbacks involved, their tight ends involved. But in their own way, the Lions have an opportunity to have a huge game because the secondary has shown that they will get beat deep. They will let passes get deep. And Matthew Stafford, we know, is not afraid to take those shots. So let him take those shots, right? Let Stafford take shots downfield. And the Lions, if you can establish that run game, right? If you can consistently go back to it and not get away from it, right? Don't get away from the game plan, right? Don't get away even if it isn't the best. Don't go completely abandon it. Stay within your game plan. If the Lions can do that, they have an opportunity to have a pretty good game offensively. And again, they're going to need it because that Saints offense is on the other side, which so far has been pretty darn good. I mean, I know some people are saying it's not the same as the Saints, the offense used to be, but it's still really good. I mean, there's no doubt about it. This Saints offense is really good. And if it wasn't for a turnover against Packers, they may win this football game. What is the Lions' game plan to slow down this high-powered Saints offense? Well, like I said, I don't know if Michael Thomas is going to play or not. But what we do know is that the Saints historically don't take a lot of shots. The average depth per target is usually near the bottom of the league with Drew Brees. And this season, it's even lower than usual. It's 5.2 yards, which is by far the lowest in the league. And without Michael Thomas, of course, that's going to happen. But they don't take a lot of shots downfield. Their biggest weapon is offensively, I'm sure all of us know, is Alvin Kamara. And not only out of the backfield running the football, but it's also catching the ball, right? He's one of the best pass-catching running backs in the league, maybe the best. Alvin Kamara is their biggest weapon by far offensively, especially if Michael Thomas is not on the field. He's currently getting 30% of their targets this season. 30%. One of every 3 passes from Drew Brees are going to Alvin Kamara. A lot of underneath routes, and a lot of it set up. I believe it's 60% of Drew Brees' passing yards actually came after the grab. It was a lot of guys making plays once they had the ball in their hands, especially Alvin Kamara, who's been absolutely dominant so far this season. So for the Lions defensively, they have to find a way to contain Alvin Kamara. And we've seen teams take different approaches. It definitely depends on, what the formations are. But one thing that the Packers did is they put secondary players on Alvin Kamara, and I expect the Lions to do that as well. I mean, heck, even one time they had a safety lined up with him, and he just caught the ball. I mean, there was nothing to it. He just caught a quick little pass, but somehow, against his secondary player, he ends up making a guy miss, and ending up getting a huge play. And we saw multiple huge plays from Alvin Kamara. He is their biggest weapon offensively, and that's where the Lions need to first focus and slow it down. But they have a nice little 1-2 punch going in that backfield. They have Latavius Murray and Alvin Kamara. Now, Alvin Kamara so far, yards per carry has been better, but Latavius Murray is not a joke, okay? This guy can run the football between the tackles. He's kind of more of their power back, and I would be more concerned, but after what I saw last week from this front seven, and when it comes to stopping the run from guys like Jamie Collins, Reggie Ragland, and, you got your Nick Williams who's stepping back in, Danny Shelton. Once I saw what they could do stopping the run, I have a little bit more confidence. And if the Lions can do that, it's going to be very big because it always does start with stopping the run. You can't stop anything if you can't stop the run. So the key is always going to be to stop the run first. And I think there's reason to be optimistic they can do that against the Saints. We've seen Cesar Ruiz get some opportunities, the pick out of Michigan, the offensive lineman. And we also see Eric McCoy who's doing an incredible job blocking down the field in the run game. They've also been pretty good when it comes to pass blocking with their offensive line. And I think the strategy to this one is to not blitz a ton. I know there's always that whether or not the Lions should blitz here, how much should they blitz? They didn't blitz very much against Kyler Murray, and I don't think the Lions will blitz very much against Drew Brees. But the strategy defensively, the way you slow down this offense, isn't by blitzing a ton. It all comes down to first down. If you allow less than 5 yards on first down, you're going to be in a great spot. However, if you allow that first down carry or that first down short pass to go over 5 yards, now all of a sudden you're in trouble. Because the Saints don't take that many shots. A lot of their depth for target is very, very low. They're going to take a lot of short routes. Even if Michael Thomas is there, it's going to be a lot of short passes. So the Lions need to make sure that that first play, if it doesn't get over 5 yards, you're going to get a lot of third down opportunities to get off the field because they're not going to take that many shots down the field. That's just not their MO. That's not how they do things offensively. You're going to see a lot of plays out of the backfield to Alvin Kamara, things like that. So the Lions, they need to get stops on that first down, keep it under 5 yards. Challenge is going to be containing a guy like Alvin Kamara. And I see the Lions putting up a lot of their safeties out there. I think Will Harris may get some opportunities. We may see him a little bit more than we did last week. Will Harris, who only has 3 missed tackles so far this season, not bad. Also, Tracy Walker, he's been pretty good. But I think it really does come down to Jaron Kearse. If Jaron Kearse can play, expect to see more Tracy Walker on Alvin Kamara and lined up with him, especially when he lines up before the play starts. And expect to see a safety in the box. I expect to see Tracy Walker in the box or even Jaron Kearse in the box this week. Because if Jaron Kearse can play, I expect him to match up with tight ends. Now, we don't know if Cook is healthy or not. We'll see. He dealt with a little bit of an injury last week. But if he is healthy, I expect Kearse to be out there to help and match up against tight ends and kind of take away any mismatch that there is there. And that'll allow our other safeties like Tracy Walker and Will Harris to line up more often against Alvin Kamara and hopefully match up when it comes to speed because the linebackers are just too slow. But if you get a safety out there, you're going to have a better opportunity. So for the Lions, it does come down to stopping the run first. I mean, that's always the game plan. But it's about the first down plays for me for this Lions defense. Like the Cardinals, they're going to put up points. They have too much talent not to put up points. So the Lions, I think they need to be kind of more aggressive, I would say, defensively when it comes to cornerback play. Maybe on early downs, get a little bit closer, get a little bit more up into your receivers because they haven't shown that they're going to take tons of shots down the field. But I also don't think the game plan here is to blitz 40% of the time. I think the game plan could be maybe 10-15% of the time you blitz. Maybe just not a lot here because last season Drew Brees was the best quarterback in the league when he blitzed him. He had the best passer rating of any quarterback. It was like 120 something when blitzed. And with a lot of these short passes, that's what's going to happen. We've heard it from Corey Olin. If you're taking a lot of short passes, I'm not going to blitz you because you're going to get the ball up quickly anyway. For anybody that is hearing that and they're all of a sudden getting a little bit concerned because maybe you didn't watch my defensive breakdown video on the Cardinals, or maybe you just haven't really seen the numbers on this, but you're probably thinking to yourself, well, no, the Lions had success against Kyler Murray because they blitzed. But the fact is they didn't actually blitz that much against Kyler Murray. What they were actually able to do was to get pressure with their 4 defenders. Now you're thinking, well, how'd they get pressure with their 4 defenders? They're not even, doing that well because we didn't see that first couple weeks. What the Lions were able to do was when they got them into any kind of third and long type of situation, the Lions were able to put linebackers to the inside, and that's automatically going to be a mismatch against an interior offensive lineman. So you can still bring 4 players, which isn't technically a blitz because 5 or more is a blitz, and get pressure with 4 players. That allows you to drop 7 into coverage, and that then comes back to my same thing of the first down is the most important down because we can keep them limited there, and you have, 3rd and 4, 3rd and 5, anything longer than that. All of a sudden, the Lions may have the opportunity to get some pressure with the 4 by bringing a linebacker inside, keeping out for Jamie Collins, maybe the safety's in the box, maybe him, but I don't see that happening very often. Maybe Reggie Ragland. That's something you have to keep an eye out for. Maybe even Jelani Tavai heading into this one. And it kind of goes back to the Kyler Murray thing, right? One thing with Kyler Murray is he's a little bit on the smaller side, so if you get in his face, passes will sail. And we know that Drew Brees is a little bit on the smaller side. Also, he's not the most mobile quarterback, so it's not as big as a concern that he's going to get outside the pocket because he's not super mobile. So the Lions can bring that pressure from the inside with the 4 defenders, with the linebacker, and if you can get in his face where he can't see, then potentially he could steal passes, not be able to see anything, and it's not a huge threat that he's going to get outside the pocket and make some plays like it was Kyler Murray's. So for the Lions, I don't see them blitzing very often here. I see them dropping 7 guys into coverage, and the Lions front 4 can help stop the run. This is a good opportunity. However, I would like to see the Lions continue to mix in the zone. Doesn't have to be like almost 50-50 like it was last week. I believe it was like 44% zone last week, but I would like to see them continue to mix in the zone, and I think if Desmond Trufant can return, that will help. But I think the Lions have gained some confidence in some of these young cornerbacks, and I think playing zone is really big, and keeping that mix is going to be huge for the Lions here. But I think Jaron Kearse is going to be very important. It's all about the safeties defensively for me. Safeties and cornerbacks, they must be able to tackle. Cornerbacks cannot be missing tackles on the outside with Alvin Kamara because he will make guys miss. What we saw last week from Jeffrey Okudah's, willingness to go up and make some tackles is going to be once again very important to help limit Alvin Kamara. We got to see that from Amani. If Desmond Trufant's back, we need to see it. If Darrell Roberts' back, we need to see it. But the good thing, the reason to be optimistic here is that we've seen from these cornerbacks, they're not afraid to tackle. Lions don't bring in corners that can't tackle, and that's where we're going to have a big advantage here. So the keys, the players, the positions to watch defensively is going to be the secondary. It's going to be about those safeties, how they're going to match up and line up against Alvin Kamara, and the cornerbacks making tackles on the edge. And for the offense side of the ball, once again, it's going to be about the tight ends because they've had a lot of success, but also Kenny Golladay, Marvin Jones, Jones and Jamal Agnew. Watch Jamal Agnew. We need to take some shots down the field. The Lions have an opportunity to win this game. It's not going to be easy. This is a very good team. Don't let the 1 and 2 say, oh yeah, they're not that good. This is a good team. This could be the best team the Lions play this year. The Saints are going to pick it up. The Saints are going to be successful. Okay, the Saints are going to be a playoff team. They're very good. But the Lions have the opportunity to pull off the upset here. They have things rolling defensively. They need to keep it rolling, and they need to make sure that this offense the whole back. And offensively, they must convert in the red zone. Lions have not been very good in the red zone. So for the Lions offense, it comes once again, like the defense side of the ball, on the offense side of the ball, making more yards out of the first couple of downs. That way you're not in 3rd and goal from the 6. Instead, it's 3rd and goal from the 3, and you have more options. That's what it's going to be about in today's game. It's all about first downs. Let me know your thoughts, comments below. Thank you for watching, and I'm out. You kidding me right now? I had to put my helmet on for this one. Are you kidding? Look at this. Look at all these members. What? Yo, hey, shout out to all the members, man. Look how many All-Pro members there are. Like, literally, it's the whole screen, dog. This is crazy. The patrons, of course, the Hall of Fame members, man. Y'all got the gold color. It's kind of yellow, but it's supposed to be gold. Shout out to all the members, man. If you want to be a part of this, all you got to do is join the channel. But there are perks that come with it. Stay locked in the community tab if you are a member, because that's where a lot of information comes out. I appreciate all of you. What?